Welcome everybody to this last session of the day. So my name is Sofie Pieraerd, and together with my colleague Karel Titeca, we will use the following 30 minutes, I'm very sorry, 30 minutes, to bring you some best practices about how KU Leuven is introducing security awareness and hopefully also secure behavior. I'm trying. Okay. But before we go into detail, I think it might be interesting to give you a short insight about KU Leuven. I won't take long because we want to dive into the matter, but it's just good to position ourselves a little bit more in detail. So we are an internationally renowned Belgian research university. It depends a little bit on the ranking that you look at. We actually always situated in the top 100 in every ranking, in every academic discipline. But if, for example, we look into the Times Higher Education ranking of this year, you can see that we are the first Belgian university, the 11th, that we have the 11th position in Europe and the 45th in the world. So research is really top of mind at our university. Okay. A lot of the participants in the session are European, so I guess they know where Belgium is, but for the non-European participants, it might be interesting just to explain a little bit where Belgium is on the map. So I included in the slide a map of Western Europe, and as you can see, the tiny, tiny colored dot in the middle is Belgium. So we are a very, very small country, but we are economically very active and also very active in the field of research and innovation. I added some figures just to give you an idea. If you look at the GDP spending in research and development investments, then Belgium is second in Europe and fifth in the world. So I think it's correct to say that the main resource of the country is knowledge. If you look at global hourly productivity of employees, then Belgium is fourth in the world. And for example, if you see that more than 60% of Europe's buying power lies in Western Europe, then you can say that the spend is taking place in a perimeter of, let's say, 500 kilometers away from Belgium. So we are really in the heart of the economical activity of Europe and of the world. That's enough on Belgium, just to give an idea. If we look into the university itself, we have a little bit of a problem going from one slide to the other. Karel is assisting me. If we look into the university itself, then we can say that we have a very large university community. We have more than 13,000 staff, almost 65,000 students, 7,000 PhD students, 320,000 alumni, and we have yearly we see like 2,000 incoming exchange students coming to Belgium to study here for, let's say, a semester or a whole year. So we're a large community. And if we then look a little bit more into our research numbers, then you can see that yearly expenses are more than 740 million euros, that we have more than 10,000 researchers, and that we are actually the 61st most cited university. But what is very interesting, I think, is if you exclude the Anglo-Saxon countries, we are the 5th most cited university in the world. So that's enough about us, but it just gives you an idea about what KU Leuven actually is. I started the talk by saying that Karel and myself, we work at the central IT department of KU Leuven, and the central IT department manages all the central infrastructure, let's say databases, servers, and so on. We also housing the high performance cluster, and we manage several large applications, the central ERP system, the Blackboard learning platform, and so on. And to give you an idea, we are a department of more than 300 IT professionals, so being pretty large. And okay, we want to keep this big university safe. And I think the cartoon is a little bit, or is more or less the same as what Professor Weber started to talk with earlier today. that despite all the measures that you take, all the technical measures that you implement as an institution, firewalls, encryption, and so on, there is always the human factor. We call him Dave here, the human error. So we are still prone to cybersecurity risks. And that's why we introduced years ago the e-mune program to increase security awareness and to increase secure behavior. And that's what Karel is going to tell you more about now. Yeah. So I pass the floor to Karel.
Okay, so on this slide, you see our logo and our baseline. So e-mune, KU Leuven takes care of your online health, and you already see some of our gadgets that I will be going into more detail on later on. So e-mune is our permanent awareness program since 2014. We have our own logo and style and our own baseline. So we take care of your online health. And our goals are, they align pretty much with what Professor Weber has told earlier. So we had a cartoon of the human error, Dave, in the box match. And we don't want to see the human as the problem. We want to see humans as the solution. So we can use our people, our human capital, to strengthen the weakest link. So a security system is made out of several links, and we can use the human to strengthen that system and to strengthen the weakest link. And so we are building the human firewall together. We have all kinds of IT systems and hardware assisting us in security and firewall software and so on. But our human capital is an important part of our firewall strategy. That's what we are trying to achieve with our e-mune program. Why do we have to raise awareness? I hope I don't have to explain it to you why awareness is important, but we try to explain it to our user base by using real world examples. So for example, you see here some articles from newspapers and online media. Those are online media that are close to us. They are Belgian online media, and they tell stories about nearby governments and universities and TV stations and so on being hacked. So the message we have for our people is that we are not making this up. We are not making up that university is a target for cyber attack. We are actively showing them that it is happening around us, and that KU Leuven is under attack from time to time, and we have been able until now to defend ourselves against those attacks, but it is happening, and it is important, and it is close to us, and so by sharing articles like these, we hope people will be aware of the fact that the threat is real. So how did it all start? I started my slides by saying that the e-mune program is here since 2014. This means that we are celebrating our 10th anniversary of e-mune this year, but our security awareness is actually closer to 20 years now. So what we are doing around security awareness, sometime around 2005, 2006, we started making some first information pages about security, where we explained what a personal firewall was and what port scanning was. So there were some security topics that we saw people didn't know of, and we found it important to inform people about it. So we started some loose information pages. And then in 2008, we bundled those together in our information security website. It's not a very sexy name here, but it was our information security website where we bundled all kinds of topics around security and online safety. And that was informative, but it was passive, a passive approach. We just provided the information. And so we shifted that strategy in 2014 2014 to a proactive approach. So by launching the e-mune brand and launching a new website, which we have been refactoring every 5 years since then. So we had a new website in 2014, we refactored it in 2019, and we are refactoring it today again. So by launching that website and that brand and the actions that I will present in my next slides, we started a proactive approach where we didn't just say the information is here for you to read it, but where we kept it top of mind with everybody by repeating the message, by doing all kinds of initiatives to keep it top of mind and to have people be part of this awareness program. So that's where we are today. By now, we have an extensive program for students, for external people, but also an extensive employee program. So here are some key aspects of what we are doing. So we want to raise awareness. That's still one of the most important things we do. We want to raise awareness. And for example, we do this through our anti-phishing training with simulations. We want to improve people's knowledge and their skills. So we have knowledge clips, we have info sessions they can follow. And so we try to do as much education as we can. We try to offer documentation through our extensive website. And we try to actively inform people by sending out newsletters about actuality topics around cybersecurity and through our internal KU Leuven newsletter. I have already mentioned we try to keep it top of mind. So instead of like, for example, forcing an email through their inboxes every week with a newsletter around information security, we try to do different things, and we have posters, we have PC wallpaper. So these are some examples of our first and our second poster campaign we had, where we try to have short messages and images that keep the brand in mind with people and top of mind. So we have these posters, we have digital signage, PC wallpapers, and we have all kinds of playful actions. So we believe that something that is playful will get accepted sooner and better than to just force policies and so on upon people. So some examples of what we have been doing in these last years. We have, for example, created apples with printable ink on it, where the message was, it's better to have a worm in your apple than in your PC. We had candy and Easter eggs, so the Easter eggs with those little aluminum wrappers around it, where the message was that you don't know which kind of chocolate is beyond the aluminum, just like you don't know what is beyond a link that a fisher provides to you. So we always try to make the link with cybersecurity. We had some stress hashtag toys, some fortune cookies with security messages. And we try to do this at specific times during the academic year. So it starts at registration, where we try to give something in the information bag they get, at the student welcome activities, during the exams when they are studying. And we also have a presence at events for staff, where we focus on sustainable material, like, for example, sustainable reusable shopping bags, where we say reuse this bag, not your password, for example. So these were some examples of playful actions we did. We also actively inform people with our newsletters. Again, these are not weekly newsletters where we have some boring stuff about information security, we try to link these newsletters to current events. So for example, when there is a large-scale phishing attack in the media, we can respond to those current events with sending out a e-mune flash to our staff. And we have done that like 15 times or something since 2015. So it's low volume, but when we do it, it takes the attention. It catches the attention. We do this directly to staff, but we also have distribution via our local IT administrators at the university. And we also have flashes specifically targeted at our IT administrators to have specific topics around security best practices that is more deep security topics that are more relevant to them as an administrator. We also have the more classic information sessions. So we have information sessions we give to people when they ask for it. We sometimes give them for entire departments of the university. We also have recordings and presentations of our previous sessions on our website. And we have knowledge clips where people can learn at their own pace. So we have actually divided all the relevant info we have into 20 short clips. Short is like 3 to 4 minutes per clip, where they can digest information per topic as they want. And they can test their own knowledge after they're done with a short online quiz to see if they remembered everything from the knowledge clips. What we are also doing specifically to staff then is fake phishing campaigns. So we have already established that technical measures, we can take technical measures all that we want, but the human error is a factor. A hack because of a human error cannot be ruled out. So the technical measures alone are not sufficient, and that's why 2 years ago we started an intensive end-user training using fake phishing campaigns. So what we are doing is sending alleged phishing emails, so emails that look like phishing but that are harmless. And when people click on them, they will be informed. So they will be informed why it was a phishing, or it was an alleged phishing, and how they could have seen it, and what they can do to prevent that in the future. We try very hard to take a positive approach here, so we will never say, haha, you are the one who clicked on an email, or how on earth did you not see that this was a phishing email? So no blaming and shaming here. We take a positive approach. We try to teach people and have them do better the next time. And we think repetition works best. So this is not a one-off. No, we do one email per fortnight, more or less. So they and if they don't click on the emails, the next email will be harder. So it is a progressive path of difficulty. We don't do this ourselves. We have done some of these anti-phishing emails in the past ourselves, but it's a lot of effort. So we have invested into a anti-phishing platform. The platform sends out the simulations at regular intervals, and it also offers an online learning platform, the Academy. So this is very handy. This is very educational, and it is automatically activated for new employees. And we also teach them to just report everything that looks suspicious, because when they want to report one of these fake phishing emails, so that's the gamification aspect that is also into it. When they want to report one of these mails, they just use the normal report button in their Outlook or in their email client. So there is no difference between reporting an actual phishing email or a fake fake phishing email. The difference, of course, is that when they report a fake phishing emails from our platform, they will get an email from us informing them they did well and well spotted, and it was in fact a fake phishing email. When they report a real phishing email or an email that is not coming from us, we inform them that it is potentially dangerous and we will take actions on it. So it is reported and they don't have to do anything else. So we are teaching them the good habit of just reporting everything that looks suspicious. The gamification can also be seen on their dashboard. So everybody has, for the academy, a personal dashboard. They can track their progress there, and they have a score. So we see that employees within a department try to do better than each other, and they compare their scores. So that's a gamification aspect, and we see that it works. One last action we do specifically to students, we have in the past organized a couple of contests. This contest you see here is specifically around the introduction of our multi-factor authentication. So at some point last year, the use of MFA for logging in for students became obligatory. There was some objection against that from the students. And again, instead of just telling them it is like this and just deal with it, we tried to get their buy-in by organizing this contest where we said, can you help us come up with a slogan for MFA, and can you help us come up with ways to introduce the importance of MFA to your fellow students? We also had the playful tagline to say, yeah, why should you study when your points are up for grabs anyway? So we try to grab their attention. We did this contest during the exams, and we said it is really important that everybody protects their accounts. Otherwise, it's no use that you are studying here, because the hackers will change your grades anyway. So this was again a positive approach. We had some nice prizes. We had a laptop and sweaters and goodies, and our goal was to thank them for helping keeping the university safe, but also provide them with info and getting their buy-in for the MFA. And that's what we try to do all the way through our campaigns and through our actions. We, instead of just saying do it and deal with it, we are trying to explain why something is important. So, for example, for the introduction of multi-factor authentication, we did this with a step-by-step process. So instead of doing a big bang for everybody, we started a pilot with a coalition of the willing, and then we started the obligation, but in small groups, and we used testimonials from users to explain why it is important and why it's not so hard. So we were raising awareness of the why rather than just it has to be this way, and we were highlighting not it's something new and annoying that you have to do, but we were highlighting the ease of use. And we were selling it as you're now using an app instead of your password. It's as simple as that. Lastly, our IT administrators, I already briefly mentioned this. They are a target group on their own. So KU Leuven is a large organization with a lot of local IT admins. We, as a central IT office, we are 300 plus people, but we also have a couple of hundred local IT admins in faculties and departments. And it's important to have them in our actions too, because they are the ones helping the local users. And so if they aren't spreading the security awareness, then yeah, most of the users will not get the info they need. So by giving them the right info about awareness and vulnerabilities and tips and tricks, we are helping the users via some sort of waterfall system too. So everything comes together in our website. This is our e-mune website, where we have all info and info sessions and actions and all information in one place. And as I said before, we are trying to keep this up to date. Like, for example, we are adding info about AI. right now. So we roughly do every 5 years a rework of this website. And that was the part about the e-mune actions. And now I will give the floor back to Sofie about how to set this all up and how to get buy-in from the users.
Yes, okay, because that's of course very important. We gave you all the examples, but the big question is, how do you do this? And I think there are two approaches that you can choose. When you set up a campaign like this, you can start bottom up, or you can go for the big top-down approach. And the choice that we clearly made was the bottom-up approach. So we didn't go for the big budget claim in the first place. We started small. We started the e-mune program within the central IT office. And we did this with a small group of, as is mentioned on the slide, of 3 creative people, being Karel, myself, and a third colleague. And it's not our primary role. So we all have our own functions and our daily jobs. But the e-mune program is actually an extra role that we take up. But with this small group of creative people and with a limited budget, we mentioned to incrementally build this e-mune program. What you do need, and I think that's very important to mention, is you do need the blessing of the university management. Even if you go for the bottom-up approach, you cannot just go against your institution's policy. So the small group of creative people, you need people that have an organizational awareness. What is accepted within our institution? What is not accepted? What messages can we bring? What messages are a bridge too far? So that's very important to have people that have this feeling and that know when they stay within the university policy and when they cross the borders. What we did use as a unique selling proposition towards the university management is that the e-mune program, or creating awareness and trying to create aware behavior or secure behavior, is actually an insurance against cybercrime. So you invest in a program hoping that you never need the effects that you have created. You make people aware, and you hope that it will be enough, never to be able to fail or never to need to face a major incident, for example. So what did we do in the first place? We started small. That's what I said. We had an incremental approach. We started small. And one of the first things we did, as Karel already mentioned, is, okay, we made a website with content on security. And that is a way to enable knowledge. Your users need knowledge. They need to know why. They need to have the information. And so the information is actually centralized in the website. It's not very costly. If you have a content management system and you invest some time in it, you can quite easily create a website. We had a professional logo developed by an external marketing company. It's a clear choice that we made because we thought we needed a recognizable logo that we could use throughout the whole campaign. Then we started some in-house brainstorm sessions within this small group of people, like, okay, what can we do? How can we start small? What low-hanging fruit is there to pick? We designed some campaign footage also in-house. So one of the group of 3 has some designing skills. So we designed it ourselves and we printed some posters, all with limited budget. So that's really something that you can do, right? You don't need the big bang budgets to start a campaign like this. The question is, how can you go beyond this first basics? And what we then did is, okay, we started determining training topics, but also incrementally. So not the big training scheme, the complete program that we roll out to the whole university in one big bang. It's also very incremental. We are looking into the actual topics. We are creating trainings around the specific topics and we are implementing those. And then a year after, we're going for another training scheme and so on. Okay, we determine the topics and we organize the courses for the staff. The gadgets, if you really want to start using gadgets, you need a bit of a budget. But if you make how you say, smart choices, you can also go for the cheaper ones. There is a big difference in potential budget that you need for gadgets, but if you choose wisely, you can keep it limited. What we also do is we participate in existing info fairs. Karel already mentioned some of them. At the beginning of the academic year, we always have an information fair for new students, and we are always present on these fairs. We also try to get the gamification aspect on security awareness in the fairs. We organize games that they can participate in, and then they can win some things. So that's what we do there. We send newsletters, as Karel also explained. And then once you take the step into using a phishing simulation platform or introducing a phishing simulation program, that's when the budget comes up. You cannot do this without budget. Either you invest in an external platform, and then it's a budget spent that you have to do, or you create it yourself, but then you really need a lot of resources to implement it. So you can do a lot. You can go along the way a long time before you get to spending a big budget on external platforms and so on. So over the years, e-mune is a brand that is more and more familiar to everybody. And as Karel also explained already, we are convinced that repetition and multi-channel is key. You need to repeat and repeat all over again to get the security information top of mind. People have to, I think Professor Weber, she called it salience. You have to make sure that people at the right moment when it's really necessary, that there is this little light going on or lightening up in their head, and that they do the right thing and take the right actions. And so e-mune is a strong brand with a lot of credibility, which makes it also easier to keep it top of mind because it's well known and so on and so on. So what about the future then? The team has grown from 3 to 4 people. It's still not the primary job of those 4 people. It's an extra role, but we are extending our little team a little bit more. We'll keep investing in awareness as we have been doing over the past 10 years. But what has changed compared to the first pioneering years, let's say, is that we built a brand in the meantime, and we have the trust of other departments. When we started, it was a central IT department having some how do you say, creative ideas about security awareness and doing a little bit of trial and error. In the meantime, e-mune as a brand is known throughout the university, and has the support of other departments, has the support of the management of the university, and that gives us a wider playing field. For example, what we try to do now is integrate the cybersecurity messages into all the layers of the organization. We are offering small slide decks for the onboarding of new staff and students, for example. We are entering URLs into administrative processes on certain security topics. So we're really trying to anchor the information into the different layers of the university. And so to end, cyber criminals, they are not going away anytime soon. Well, we aren't either. We are here to stay. But what we do want is we really have the ambition to continuously improve the program. And I think that some of the theory that Professor Weber has explained at the start of the session is very interesting for us. There are some interesting takeaways that we can look into over the coming weeks, how we can really work on the opportunity factor, for example, of the COM-B model. So that's really something that we will take with us and look further into. So that's in a bigger nutshell what we were wanting to share with you today. So I hope we were a little bit inspirational. And so if there are any questions, we are always willing to explain more in detail.